hello there.
G'day, mate.
It's cracking.
Oh, still reeling from Group 1 racing on a Monday.
Well, and it was only a couple of days ago because we are recording from Wednesdays.
Yeah, Wacky Wednesdays. That's what they're going to call it from now on because we're just both so wacky, the two of us.
Yeah. Are we doing half the form? Maybe.
Hey, I wouldn't say we're students of the form anyway. More of a spray and pray type operation.
Yeah.
But there's very good reason as to why we're doing it on a Wednesday.
Yes. All will come out in due course.
Yep.
Not this week, but it'll be very soon.
Yes, very soon. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Gotcha. What were your thoughts on last weekends of racing? Firstly, let's start where it all began on Saturday.
Yeah, it was like a bender of racing.
Yeah.
Friday night with the Billy Reid.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, look, my best bet of the weekend, Marabi, eek, with an $8,000 trifecta in September run, winning her second Group 1 and her first Group 1, her first win actually, since the Coolmore in 2020. Yeah, wasn't expecting that.
No, and I'm going to note down something here. Those polls that that we've been putting up. Have to do one of the hardest horses to catch because September run has to be right at the tippy top of that. I would also put Colette up there.
Colette's super hard to catch. Brooklyn Hustle.
Very hard to catch.
There's a stack.
A stack.
VE's hard to catch for some.
NS is hard to catch.
For some. Yeah. If you back him every start, he's I wouldn't say he's hard to catch. I would just say
you get him about 50% of the time.
He's hard on your bloody wallet.
Yeah.
Look, Friday night, Moonee Valley, Death Valley, hey, flying mascot into Marabi was touted as the two-leg multi of the century by some, definitely not me on this podcast. Neither of them came up trumps. May have been slightly inebriated on Friday night at a mate's 30th. Actually, Drifter of the Week's 30th from last week, Tim. Shout out, Tim. Thanks for having me. Hopefully I didn't cause too much trouble. So I was just, this thing will win. Bang, 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 bang. And then Saturday, I was like, oh, geez. Thank God the rest of the Rose Hill car's been called off because I don't think I should spend any more money on punting responsibly this weekend. How did you find the weekend plus Monday of racing, mate? Anything stand out to you in particular?
Well, Tim stopped you on command as well. So
yeah, true.
Friday night was just a genuine nature strip out. So it was just
bloodbath.
Marabi end of prep run. I reckon. Just no gas tickets left. Was super brave to run into fifth on that crazy speed.
Yeah, geez.
Jonker was setting and Snapper. Great name, Snapper.
Yeah, it's a good name for an horse.
Saturday, I couldn't believe what I was watching at Rose Hill. That was just torrential rain.
It was, the
worst I've ever seen.
It was the heavens had opened well and truly. I was wondering, when they were going to start constructing the bloody arc in Rose Hill. Mother Nature, as we've said on this podcast, has taken a real disliking to Parramatta. The western suburbs of Sydney have been copping it.
Yes.
Not as much as northern New South Wales, mind you.
No.
They're a bit cooked at the moment, unfortunately.
And the great town of Brisbane, but just like that, we're back to blue skies up here. Where else would you rather be? But yeah, thoughts with those people in northern New South Wales. But so that 2-year-old race that was race 2 on the card where they were just basically running through floodplains.
Yeah.
Darren Flindell couldn't even see the race.
No.
And they showed the steward's vision on the telly.
Couldn't see anything.
It was a joke. I can't believe they ran it.
As the horses were coming around the bend to balance up for the straight, they were aquaplaning. They were their hooves were just sliding.
Yeah.
And was it Nash Rawilla who was like, I've never felt so unsafe on a horse before in my life.
Never been so scared in my life.
Yeah, there you go.
Because he couldn't see anything.
get it. Just why would you let that go ahead?
And not only that, the race after it.
Yeah.
And because the thing that got them in the end was, as you were saying, as they were coming into the straight, they were all sliding, so they didn't have any grip. But in that third race, Mount Popper v. Polly Gray, J-Mac was like just pointing out, he's like, these are old horses and they can't get through it. It's like it's still unsafe for them. So it's not the 2-year-olds where you could, mount a case. But for Polly Gray, who loves it, Mount Popper obviously loves it. Everything else in the back of the field, they may as well not have gone around. And it ruins their confidence.
Yeah,
especially
100%
a
it does.
2-year-old. Who would want to go through that again?
No, 100%. You get a 2-year-old on a track like that, they then associate going to the races as absolutely battling through horrid conditions. I couldn't believe that they didn't can it prior to the day starting.
But we come to Newcastle Group 1 racing on Monday, and to be honest, I wasn't looking that hard because I thought we would have been just, playing on a heavy deck, and I didn't change my tips. Because that's the only reason why I like She's Ideal, because she was the best swimmer in the race, and then she ran second last. But how bloody good was Jewess?
Jewess was fantastic, mate. She's look, I don't want to jump the gun on Jewess. I really don't, so don't take this that way, drifters. But she's got a bit of a VE sort of vibe about her.
That's what Chris Waller says.
Wow, okay, there you go.
He said she's the next VB.
For a hard-earned thirst. Ride Jewess.
Yeah. The next VE. That's what he said.
She's just got that turn of foot and runs in time. Her time over the Aussie Cup was great, and she's backed it up over 2,400 metres. So the big question for Mr. Edward Cummings now is, do you take her to the Queen Elizabeth or the Sydney Cup?
She's a shot in both of them. Obviously, the extra 800 may as well be an extra mile. Because the step up from 2,400 to 32...
Huge.
Massive. What is on her resume is that these wins are coming off ridiculous speed.
Yeah.
Like, she's clearly winning these races by 2 to 3 lengths on hot speed. So she is by far the best athlete in the race, because if it's run at its fastest, then the best athlete should win. Yeah,
she smashed the clock in the Tancred. And like you said, a fast run race gives every horse in the race a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Fangirl, as highlighted on this podcast last week, Hinged had the form against the older mares, and then Fangirl had the form against the boys. And then they run the Quinella, but I still somehow don't tip them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know what you mean. As I said on the podcast, Hinge was a clear second pick for me, and she nearly won the race, right? She's, half a head or half a neck or something like that. Went with Gypsy Goddess, a bit of a heart bet. Gypsy was never going to chase them down from a slow sort of start.
You're not in Ascot anymore, Pikey.
Yeah, you're not an Ascot anymore, Pikey. I think so that was over 1,850 metres, not over the mile and a quarter. I don't think she wins over 2,000 metres in that race, but I think she gets a lot closer. For me, Oak's written all over her. I think she'll love the 2,400 metres, so
gotcha.
She's my pick in that race. But just back to Jewess, from a punter's perspective, you want to see her in the Queen Elizabeth because she's got a red hot chance of winning that race.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's hard to have a query on horse, right? But the only query for mine now is like a super heavy deck. That's the only thing. And based on J-Mac's comments about VE on her last run, she didn't like the heavy deck. And then you think back to her Melbourne Cup and her Caulfield Cup, they were run, and even the Melbourne Cup that Twilight Payment won. That was a good 3.
Yeah.
She ran
super
nicely into 7th. She won the Caulfield Cup prior, and then she won the Melbourne Cup. They were all on good decks. Maybe she likes being on top of the ground now.
Hard to say. And it's hard to say with Rose Hill too, because Rose Hill is a genuine, muddy, sticky track. Maybe the wet decks on like your Randwicks and your Flemingtons and stuff like that are a little bit different because of the drainage. I don't know. Absolutely. I'm not a horse.
Or a horticulturist.
No, I'm not that. Yeah, so Jewess will have 51 kegs in the Sydney Cup if she does go there. Oh, you just think with her this time next year, will she get 51 kegs in the Sydney Cup? I highly doubt it. So it's almost like, well, we can run the Queen Elizabeth next year. Do we try win the Sydney Cup this year? I don't know. It'll
be interesting to see, because if you look at it from a broodmare's perspective, the 2,000 metres would have much more commercial appeal. Winning a 2-mile race, a Sydney Cup, as a mare, going to stud probably doesn't have the same amount of cachet as a Queen Elizabeth would. So I think that would probably be in the back of their mind. But I just wanted to go the Queen Elizabeth because that would be just a fantastic contest with her in there.
Yeah, and seeing it with my own naked eyeballs as well.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Before we get into calling the Drifter of the Week this week,
yep.
Buddy Franklin, have to touch on that.
I was thinking that, mate. How unreal.
Unbelievable. If you've been living under a rock and you haven't seen the scenes from the SCG on Saturday night.
Yep.
Saturday night? Friday night?
I can't remember.
Either way, one of the great
Friday night.
One of the great scenes of all time. Apparently there was a lot of security protocols that they had in place to avoid the people flooding, but my God, I've never seen a plan like that fail quicker.
Yeah, see, I actually heard the opposite. I heard that they were, even the TV broadcast, they were told that, hey, just so you know, if this happens in this match, be prepared to go for an extra 15, 20 minutes. I could be hearing, absolute lies, but...
No, they said that on the telecast. They said they've been given, I think, half an hour and went for 45 minutes.
Yeah, right, okay.
And there was 5 minutes left in the game. And you're like, call the game. You're up by 38.
Yeah, call the bloody game.
Like...
It was unreal. Do you think we'll ever see another 1,000-goal career?
No way. Because you look at comparing it, right? So I was watching on KO and... the panel was pretty good panel. Gary Lyon, Nathan Buckley, midfielder, but Jonathan Brown and then Nick Revolt. So before Buddy, you probably had two of the best centre half forwards before Buddy.
Yeah.
Jonathan Brown kicked about just below 600 goals.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's nearly pretty much doubled him.
Yeah.
And then Nick Revolt, I think he's around that 700 to 800 mark.
Yeah, right.
So it's like what he's done is literally only happened, 5 times prior to him.
Yeah.
So, no, not in current footy.
Yeah, not the way it's played anymore.
Unbelievable.
Mm.
Longevity, amount of times he's kicked more than 5 goals in his career. It's like getting out to like 60 games or something.
Yeah, it's insane.
Crazy. Anyway.
Absolute rocket left boot.
Yeah, love to see it. All right, let's get back onto some horse racing. Let's give our Drifter of the Week a call. I'm excited to see what this drifter has in store for us.
On the Drift Fan Club, Jess speaking.
Drifters, we've got Jess Mitchell on the podcast, one of the most famous drifters that we've ever had, a real famous connoisseur of the SRM, same race multi, for those of you listening on at home. Jess, got Hutcho here as well.
Hutcho, how are you?
I'm great, Jess. I've actually delved into your realm of the SRMs, and I've got to say, I'm annoyed that I'm so late to the game.
How good are they?
They are game-changing.
I'm not like other drifters of the week that, multi them into other ones.
Yeah, that's insane.
But I do love a same race multi, same game multi. I think they're great.
Oh, we all love same game multis.
Yeah, they're good for the soul.
Oh, they're unreal for the
When
soul.
they come off, you're so happy. You screenshot everyone. You might not have even spoken to them, but I'm just like, I won this.
He's going up to random people on the street. How's this for a punt? Yeah, love your work, Jess. So look, this week we've obviously got 4 Group 1s, but we're just going to talk to you about 2, the TJ and the Doncaster Mile. So we'll start off with the TJ, race 8, Royal Randwick. Look, I know that you've got some thoughts on this race. There's a couple of your favourites in here. Talk us through what you're going to do.
I'm going to surprise you.
Okay.
And I will not be on Nature Strip.
Sheesh.
No, I know people are shocked. I heard the gasping. I heard it. But it's like I was talking to you, Deej. I think, I know we've looked at the forecast, but I still think a lot of rain is heading there. So I think it is going to be quite heavy. Will it be a heavy 10? I don't know. But I think I'm going to go with the fairy tale, and I am going with Shelby 66.
Love that.
Oh, I absolutely love that. And, you've got even more reason to be in love with the Shelby 66 fairy tale. So I love that pun.
I do. So I feel bad. I do feel like I'm cheating. But I don't think he, as a Nature Strip, loves it heavy, and I think it will be.
No, I think I agree with you there, JKM. And Shelby 66, $5.50 with Neds at the moment, opened at what, 8s? So getting pumped in.
Yeah.
Is that you single-handedly driving the price down, Jess?
And I think, I've been watching a lot of interviews and whatnot with Danny Williams, and I think it'll just be a perfect fairy tale.
Yeah, I agree.
But look, you can't rule out Nature Strip. You can't rule out Eduardo, but I'm doing it.
No,
I've done it.
You've made a case, and can't argue against it. Righto. Moving on to the Doncaster. Sheesh. A lot of horses in this race. A few chances. Where are you going?
So many horses, and there's a lot of good horses as well. I am going with the current favourite, Forbidden Love.
Yep.
Number 16. Obviously a very big fan of Jamie Carr as well, and hats off to us for getting down to 50 kegs, because I think that's crazy. And I think Forbidden Love again is good on the weather tracks too. So that's where I'm headed this weekend.
Yep, can't argue against that either. So we've got the TJ, we've got the Donny. What's your best bet of the weekend? Is it in Randwick, or are we going somewhere else?
No, I'm going to Eagle Farm.
Yes, the Sunshine State.
Yes, which actually, what's Eagle Farm at the moment? A soft 5. I don't think we've got any more rain, do we?
No, I think it's clearing up, so it should be a good deck.
Eagle Farm race 3.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a bit of value. It's not the favourite. Number 14, Street Dancer.
Yep.
I think I've been looking at the card, and that one was just sticking out to me. Really no particular reason, but that's my best bet of the day. It's at $7.50 at the moment. It's a bit of value there too.
Yeah, we love the value, and look, you're probably picking them better than what we can at the moment, Jess Mitchell. So that's fine.
Whenever David Van Dyke takes one to the track,
true,
it's going to run top 3.
It's so true. He doesn't take him to Eagle Farm very often. So when he does, can we just quickly pot a horse in this race, please, Jess Mitchell? Number 8 Yulong status. Can we just quickly pot that? We hate those silks.
Yeah, you do. You really do. I was listening to that last week.
They never win.
They never bloody win. The jokers.
But I know that's all I needed to do. But I had a really big roughie for you guys.
Oh yeah,
and
play
I just
on.
wanted tell the drifters.
Please.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go back to Randwick.
Yeah.
In the Australian Derby.
Yep. Aussie Derby. Yep.
Race 7.
Aussie Derby, number 21.
Lukey Luke. Yeah, that's right.
Lukey Luke. That's my husband's name, everyone. And look, just throw it onto plates, okay?
Yeah. Oh, look, we'll need a couple of scratchings because it is an emergency. But I tell you what, if it makes the field, it might be a launch job for you, Jess Mitchell.
But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there.
I'm chucking that in
For a
my
roughie.
SRM. So
Yeah, chuck that in your SRM. Shout out to Luke Jones, one of the great Joneses.
Yes, he's probably your second biggest fan of the podcast now. So
Oh, I love to
you
hear
guys,
it.
you made a new fan. He liked, he heard on the racing last week when someone said, "Oh, a horse is on the drift."
oh.
Did they just mention Declan's podcast?
Oh no.
Yeah,
I said-
gee whiz.
Yeah. So that's how much he knows about racing. Just,
Righto.
no, he does listen to it each week now.
Oh, look,
so-
we appreciate the support. And look, a fellow Jones is always welcome. So, Jess Mitchell,
Absolutely.
Drift of the Week, thanks so much for your time. And look, hopefully Lukey Luke gets a go.
All right. Thanks, guys. Good
See
luck.
you, mate.
See
Bye.
Thanks, Jess. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, Drift of the Week.
Always a pleasure.
Leo just making a cameo.
Yeah, I didn't even realise
Yeah.
until he was coming under the table. Is Leo racing this week? That'd be huge on
No,
him.
mate. He's off season.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he'll be ripe and ready to go in the winter. When the
Real horses start to turn up.
yeah, mate. Imagine if you came up here. Look, that was all good stuff from Jess. Nothing I didn't want to hear there.
No, big play on.
But mate, the championships. Let's just marinate in how good are the championships.
Oh, fantastic. I love Randwick. I love autumn time, except when it's pissing down rain. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this weekend of racing, mate. Wet Trek throws a few spanners in the works, but we'll see how we go, eh?
Mate, spanners are meant to be caught.
Yep,
Yep.
that's what they say.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Mate, let's kick it off with the size produce.
Yep.
Makes sense because it's the first Group 1 on the card, right?
Hey.
We have 4 to get through, so let's just, get in, get out, see how we're going. There's a really talented filly here that is the favourite, number 12, Fireburn. Excuse you.
Just burp before I even realised. This came out of nowhere.
Oh, we're going downhill here. Not used to,
It's the old chicken yellow curry I had at lunch, eh? You can't smell that at home, Drifters. You glad you can't. Fuck me dead. Anyways.
So Fireburn's the favourite, followed by some others, but I know you're keen on this filly.
Oh, mate, 100%. You can't tell me that you get massively checked coming around the bend at Rose Hill and still find a way to put them away with 3 or 4 lengths and still charging through the line very strongly. Nothing to suggest she doesn't run out a strong 1,400 metres.
Absolutely. Through the line, she was still strong. But there's a couple of things, right?
Yeah.
I think she's obviously the horse to beat, and she's my on-top tip.
Yep.
But history suggests that slipper winners just cannot win another race. Since She Will Reign, who was trained by Gary Portelli.
Hey, yeah.
So the signs are connecting,
Yeah.
But could that knock at, the 600 to 800 metre mark, and could that just take it out of her? You know what I mean? It's like that was a bloody tough run.
It was a tough run. And you are right. Slipper winners don't tend to go on and do anything else. But a lot of slipper winners, once they win the slipper, don't run in this race. It's their grand finals, the slipper. So they usually go to the paddock straight afterwards. And fair enough, you've won the slipper, especially if you have your nuts. You've done your job.
Yeah.
Fireburn doesn't have any nuts. Not because she's a gelding, mind you. Because she's a little filly. So, Mate, yeah, there's nothing in here that I think should threaten too much. She's a clear on top pick for me. Loves the heavy deck. 1400's a tick. Draws perfectly. I think she'll improve even further off her Golden Slipper run. I admit the big check doesn't help when you're lining up next time. Look, if I was going to identify a couple of things which I could imagine running well, I like Let's Roll the Dice, 2 from 2, lightly raced colt for the O'Brien stable. D-Lane on board, draws really well, enjoys the heavy. She's extreme, had no luck in the slipper. If she gets clear air, I don't think she wins, but I think she gets a lot closer. And then you've got Magic as well, who was a bit plain last start, you could argue, but first up was a huge flashing light. So I think the 1400 metres will suit him. But yeah, look, I don't see anything chasing down Fireburn.
Let's put it this way. I think Fireburn wins from everything that ran in the slipper. I think that's fair.
Yeah, agreed.
The horse that I'm very interested in is Let's Roll the Dice.
Yeah.
I think that different form reference, Lane, O'Brien, as you said, won by 3.5 lengths first up in its maiden, and then there has been subsequent winners from that. So I think it wasn't a bad maiden. And then it won over 1,400 metres at headquarters at Flemington. I think it's worth a play at the $13 on offer. I think you have to include everything.
I think so too. The 1,400 metre box tick is a huge box tick. It's a done deal horse as well, so it'll be able to get through the mud.
And as you said, Magic looks like it will get the distance. The Australian Derby.
Yep.
Last year we were both on the floor with Young Werter coming second, but Explosive Jack winning. So we're still low in the quaddie.
Chill.
So that was good. But yeah, 2,400 metres. Hitotsu's the favourite. Never seen a heavy deck. Going from 1,600 metres to 2,400 metres, virtually again. Can't underestimate the stable, but it just looks strange to me.
It looks strange, but I like it.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing, and he, I think, is just a freak, Hitotsu. Yeah, look, he's never seen a heavy deck before. He's out of Maurice, Japanese thing, and his progeny have a pretty good record on the wet decks. And there's nothing in here that's blown me away on a wet deck before.
Well, you're usually the Tulloch expert. You love the Tulloch
I do love the Tulloch.
As a form reference, I think it's been the last few that have come through here and at least run well.
Yeah, I love the Tulloch as a form reference. Character who won that race, thought it was pretty good. Obviously, it's on a 5-day quick backup, not a 7-day backup. Look, the flashing light out of that race was Regal Line. And was it Benno who came home like a freight train?
Yeah, Richie.
Yeah, Richie Benno. Great name for a horse.
Yep.
But I just don't think... no, not against Hitotsu. He's drifting, which I love because I think the more money you can get for him, the better. I think he puts these guys to the sword. I really do. The heavy deck is a query, but I don't think any of these have the brilliance. Yeah, might hold him back a length or two. I still think he wins.
Yeah, Kieran Maher was 50-50 on him running. So if he doesn't run here, I reckon he'll go to the South Australian Derby and just win that by 10 lengths.
Yeah.
So,
well, okay, let's talk theoreticals then. Would he be your on top selection if he runs here? He's not your on toppy?
No, even if he's in the race, he's not my on toppy.
Okay. Who's your on toppy?
Well, I'm going with the Tulloch form.
Okay.
And I honestly was all over Richie with a rash before he drew barrier 19. I was shattered.
Poor Richie.
He nearly drew barrier 22. He's that far out. But I think Regal Lion's got the perfect draw here and ran third in the New Zealand Derby, which is typically decent form. I think Richie has better... Sorry, Benno has better wet...
Just go with Richie.
Wet form.
Fuck it. Just go with Richie.
And the other thing on Richie's resume is...
Great leg spin.
One of the great callers of all time. Other than Richie being the voice of cricket, he has actually got a lot of Ks under the legs.
He does,
He's getting up to about 8 to 9 Ks under the legs, which this is going to be the best stayer will win this race, which is silly to say, but Hitotsu with 1 mile match race under his belt, jeez, I want to go with Benno. He's got the Russo form, which you can tie into.
True.
You can tie that into Crystal Pegasus. Different races, but the form reference is there. And he's been racing against the older horses. And then, Regal Lion has that New Zealand dour staying form, and I think he'll get through the going, even though his wet runs have been over 1,400 metres. So it's like, and he's been running into 4th. He's never going to be winning those races.
No.
So I think Regal Lion I reckon he's the one that's going to get crunched. I won't be surprised if he starts favourite. But I think Benno was just as good behind him. Just wish they switched the barriers, and I'd be all over Benno.
Like a rat.
Yeah, so I think I'm really confident they both run top 3.
Okay. Yeah, fair. No, I'm with Hitotsu. I've just got a feeling about this horse. I think the heavy will be fine.
Yeah, lovely. On to the TJ. Now, our good friends from Neds have Josh, our good mate Josh from Neds.
Sure.
He was messaging us on the IG today, and he was going. They were having a conversation in the office.
Yep.
Going, who would you rather back in this race? An out of form Masked Crusader or an in-form Shelby 66?
In-form Shelby 66 every day of the week.
Every day of the week.
Every day of the week. Masked Crusader is not one of mine.
Yeah, jeez.
He's not one of mine, mate. He just... Do you know what's interesting? They're both the same sire.
Interesting.
Both by Tornado.
There you go. So
no, I'd go Shelby. He's in ridiculous form. He just won in Galaxy. He ran second to Eduardo on a heavy deck. I'm going with Shelby. Yeah. Okay. I genuinely think he could. I wouldn't surprise me to see him with a gold medal around his neck after this race. It wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me either. I would be leaning towards Masked Crusader for 2 reasons. The price?
Yeah, fair.
You get $10 for a horse that nearly won an Everest. He was a snout out of it. And you also get him around a bend. He's not a straight track horse, even though he looks like one of those types that could be good. Had excuses in the new market, went the wrong side, The old rocking horse who's down in the field here just stole it up on the inside. But I think they're both running for 3rd place, to be honest. I think the Quinella's right up
top
the top.
2. Are you leaning towards Eddie or the Strip?
I underrate Nature Strip every time in this race. Last 2 years. I'm going with Eduardo. I'm sticking with him. I don't think he's a 1,200 metre horse at all, but I think he's the elite wet tracker. I don't think Nature Strip's an elite wet tracker.
Nah. Look, I've backed Nature Strip the past 2 TJ, so hey, I'm going to back him for a 3rd.
Sure, why not? Might be the only autumn prediction we got right.
Yeah. Shit. No, I'm pretty sure I said in that podcast I predicted Shelby 66 to win the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I said that.
Yeah, for sure. So, Nature Strip.
Nature Strip for me every day of the week.
Okay. Yeah, Eduardo, as mentioned. Just think he's the better wet tracker. All right. The Donny.
I love the Doncaster Mile.
This one has got me perplexed. It's bloody tough. I went through the history of this race. Okay. Recent history.
Lovely.
Last 5 to 6 winners.
Always love this.
I had a look at the profile of the horses. What I might do, I'll just go through. What you need for this race is a horse that if they're not a 3-year-old, they need to be running out a really, really strong mile, like a very strong mile. The ability to win over 2,000 even, which a lot of these can't. I looked through the field And the only horses that have ran over that further than that distance is really Cascadian and won. So that is a massive concern for me. I think the favourites are quite vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
The one I kept coming back to, but going to the 3-year-olds, they can win because they're so light in the waist, which, again, that brings Forbidden Love back into it because she's only got 50 kilos. For me, in a big field, high-pressure race, I reckon that might find her out, even though she is the elite wet tracker. So I'm happy to play around the favourite here. I'm going with 3-year-old, Converge. What price would Adamo be in this field if he started? That's my question to you.
Something sub $2.
Brave.
No, yeah, he'd be short in the market.
He'd be short. He'd be favourite.
He'd be short in the market, yeah.
I think he'd be favourite. And Converge has beaten him over the mile. And they basically just had a trial in that 2,000 metre race, the Rosehill Guineas. So I think he'll be got plenty of juice in the legs here. So I think Converge has drawn perfect just to take a sit behind, have a soft run, and he's got a short but sharp turn of foot. The heavy, really testing heavy ground is the query, but I still think he's good enough to get through it. What were your thoughts on this race?
Forbidden Love's my best of the day.
Yep.
I'm not trying to overcomplicate the race. She's in incredible form. She's got one of the best jockeys in Australia on board, carrying 50 kilos, draws perfectly, I think, to sit up off the pace. You could argue the query is the mile, but I don't think it's a query after she blew them away in the George Ryder with plenty in the tank, I think, 1,500 metres. For her, 1,600 metres on a wet track is like, I don't know, running 5 kilometres on a treadmill compared to running 5 kilometres out and about. It's just easier. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Nah, yeah. I do admit Converge will give a great sight. I think he's...
Only danger?
I think he's the biggest danger for mine. I don't get the price from Thunderstruck.
Sheesh.
I think he should be more than the $5 on offer. And nothing else really sort of appeals. You got Ice Bath at 15s, fair. I think Law of Indices will be one for the exotics at 34s. Lighthouse, that form around Forbidden Love is elite. $15. Private Eye draws a car park. That doesn't matter for him. He won the Epsom last year. Yeah, but no, mate. I'm really, really solid in Forbidden Love this weekend. Hey, I could be wrong.
Hey, we've all been wrong before.
Yeah,
I think Kiku is the knockout for me. Form around Promise of Success, who was running behind for Forbidden Love and probably wants the mile now. So ran well on Monday. Yeah, $61. Chuck her in your SRMs, chuck her in the quaddie. You know what I mean? But here's the recent winners of the Doncaster, right? Cascadian has won over 1,800. Notorious won over 2,000. Brutal 3-year-old won over the mile. Happy Clappers won over the 2,000. It's somewhat, I think, had won over the 2,000. Winks, obviously, over the 2,000. So I think it is a bit of a sapping race, and you need to. I'm just looking for something that has the potential to go a bit further. And I think Converge might be that one.
Man, yeah, I can't argue with Converge. I think that's that. If Forbidden Love wasn't in the race, he'd be my pick. But from what I've seen of her, this preparation, she's the best wet tracker in the country, and I think as a mare, she might have matured to the point where maybe she can stretch out over further than a mile. Maybe she is that dynamic when the track's like this. The form around her is unbelievable. Yeah. He dropped 7 kilos from her win in the George Ryder where she spanked him. I reckon she draws to get another soft run here once the emergencies are out. Jamie Carr on board. Light as a feather. Jamie, light as a feather, Carr.
Ooh, yeah, no, it's a good point you make. I think you're a bit harsh on Thunderstruck, though.
He's not one of mine.
I don't know why.
Come on, then. Come on. He's not one of mine. No,
Like, he's a length and a half away from arguably our best weight for age horse in Australia, Zaki.
yeah, look, he's just got to have, everything's just got to go right on Thunderstruck because of his racing pattern. And I just think he's going to have to make too much ground up in this race, especially with that weight. And what I will say about On Thunderstruck, though, if you look at his two massive wins, Golden Eagle, and the other one was the Cantala?
Turak.
The Turak, sorry. From memory, Turak was a pretty big field.
It would have been, it had 12, so not that big.
Not that big.
Golden Eagle was 18.
So, and both times he's burst through traffic. So maybe he's a horse who wants to force himself, like he wants to get into traffic and he wants to run through things and pass things. He'll get that here.
Drew barrier 8 in the Eagle. It's got barrier 8 here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, Forbidden Love for me.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Okay. Best bet of the day. Well, yours is Forbidden Love.
Mine is Forbidden Love, yes.
Well, I'm going rogue here. And I'm going to stick with it, but this could also be an SRM.
Lovely.
But I want you to go to the Derby. I've gone it's a race 7 on the card. I've got Regal Lion and I've got Richie Benno running a Quinella at any price. That's my best bet of the day. Because the undercard is bloody tough.
It is tough. I'm not going to play massively this weekend. I'll actually be down on foreign soil in New South Wales on the weekend. I won't be going to the track, but I'll get a good feel for how the turf is playing. I'll send some comments up back your way. Yeah, the track's real bloody heavy, mate. Even though I'm not going to actually be at said track, so that'll be fun. Yeah, look, I'm not going to play massively on the weekend, mate. I think Forbidden Love will get a bit of a touch up from me, and that's about it.
Bit of a touch up. Well, yeah. I think we roll Forbidden Love into... Might have to do a Forbidden Love into an SRM multi.
Oh, love it.
There we go.
Love it.
Now we're playing. Just do those two, either top 3 if you're feeling greedy, but top 4.
100%.
Yeah. Alrighty, mate. Well, always a pleasure, but we'll see you next Wednesday.
Best of luck, drifters.
Hooroo.